I'm feeling frisky today. It's going to be a big episode.
Frisky?
Yeah, we've got a couple of little exciting things planned for today.
Oh, what do you mean?
Pop quiz.
Oh, okay.
What is the question that I have been asked the most over the last 20 years that I've been in the industry?
Hey, bro, what supplements do you use?
Oh, how did you guess?
I was going to ask, what do you bench?
Well, yeah, that as well. It's more like probably what do I squat for me. But yeah, that's the most asked question. And it's probably the reason I train at home now, not at gyms.
Yeah.
Because I can't get through a workout without someone asking me, what are the best supplements? What are the essential supplements that I need to support my performance and optimize my recovery for a gym session or training?
And I guess, people ask me this all the time. Maybe because I formulate supplements as well. What's the best supplements to take? How does this work? What does this do? So, since we're a sports nutrition company that makes and sells supplements.
Number one sports nutrition brand in Australia. And look, we haven't spoken about, you're right, that's a bit of the touch of the Rona. Or,
No.
We haven't spoken much about our products in past episodes, and it's on purpose. Like, we're not a brand that wants to shove our products down your throat at all.
Yeah.
Like, we're obviously a reputable brand, being the number one brand in Australia. We manufacture all of our products, but we're not about the hard sell at all. We'd rather just sort of keep it light, keep it fun, give you guys some different topics to talk about without trying to sell you. And that's not what today is about at all. It is about informing you of the basic essential products that you need for optimum performance and recovery.
Yeah.
So we're going to cover that. But before we do,
What do you mean?
we've had an overwhelming amount of emails over the last couple of weeks in regards to you.
In regards to me.
What do you think it might be?
What do you mean?
Well, they're like, who is this Dhiren guy? He's so intelligent. He's like this supplement nerd. But sometimes we can't understand what he's talking about. He goes really deep, starts talking about the stars and...
Well, I told you, I'm actually a chemist, but I'm not a chemist. I'm a philosopher.
So, we're going to play a little game today. Yeah.
I hope you like games.
What do you mean?
Every time...
We're talking about supplements.
Every time, we love the fact that you bring science to this podcast, but every time you get too scientific, we are going to sound the air horn.
Oh, no.
And not just that, every time you get too scientific, say or things like that.
Oh, no.
The air horn will sound, and you, my friend, must take a shot of Musashi Pre-Workout.
Oh, shit.
I've got lots of shots here too.
There are about three serves mixed into that one. So
Line them up, Dhiren.
Okay.
How long's it been since you've had some shots at the bar? A while.
A long time.
should we start off with one? Just to get them going?
I think we should kick off with one just to
Well,
see.
I guess you have to have one as well. Then.
Well, maybe another time, but
Oh, come on.
I didn't do anything wrong.
this is just This is just to let you know how strong we've mixed this up, so that you won't make any mistakes.
That's pretty full.
That is very full. You'll spill it for sure, all over your notes.
Hand,
So the
hands like a surgeon. Don't worry.
I know. Well, not look at my hands.
Bottoms
Shaky.
up.
Cheers.
Oh, nice. Wonder who made that.
So I'm going to pass the horn over to Hal.
Oop.
Hal's got the horn. He's in charge. You get too scientific.
Uh-oh.
Shots away.
Uh-oh.
You ready?
Okay, not getting scientific.
All right. Firstly, before we kick into this, we probably need to talk about the essential times that we need to be using sports supplements, because a common argument you get, right? There's always the internet warriors like, I don't need a protein shake after a workout. I just have a chicken breast. So there is the old food versus supplement argument, but both have their roles to play. Obviously, we're not a proponent of an all supplement diet. We've never been about that. But there are certain times, and this is why supplements were made in the first place.
Yeah,
Like
they have a role, but but they're not the magic bullet. They're not the
No.
answer to everything, to all of life's problems.
They're not, but there are some crucial times that we recommend that you use supplements over food for reasons that we'll get into today. So what do you reckon the three most important times to use sports supplements? Hal, what do you reckon as a new entrant into the sports nutrition world? What do you reckon are 3 most crucial times to use sports supplements?
Before the pub, after the pub, and mid hangover.
Well, pretty similar to the gym, before, during, and after.
Yeah, I'll run with Dhiren on this one.
Yeah.
So before a workout, during workout, and after a workout.
Before we get into it, I thought maybe we'll talk about...
Too scientific already.
That was the big
I was like, oh, okay. Didn't even start getting technical.
But if you pour them as full as the other one, we're going to run out of cups.
Half a shot.
There we go.
I'll die. I just had 2 coffees this morning. So.
First, this could get interesting. The air horn has sounded.
Yeah.
Okay, ready?
Okay. What I was going to ask you?
Yes.
How did you start taking supplements? What was the first?
I'll let that one go.
No, I said
Yeah, all right.
First started taking supplements.
Yeah. What was your first experience?
Honestly, and this was well before, I've been here for 14 years, but well before I was here, started probably training 23 years ago. You can't tell these days, but the first supplement I ever used was actually a Musashi supplement.
Wow.
So it's funny how things sort of come around, but it was the Growling Dog creatine.
Wow.
Back in the day. And I remember when you
it
first started...
flavored, unflavored? Just plain?
Unflavored.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was hardcore back then. I just spooned it straight into the mouth, and everyone does that these days. But yeah, that was my first product. And I think combine first using supplements when you first start training, the results you get are phenomenal.
Yeah.
Strength gains, size gains. So from there, I've definitely investigated pretty much and used pretty much every product on the market, not just Musashi, everything. And I've trialed it on myself, and obviously we trial it on athletes and things like that. So we're pretty confident in the essential sort of ingredients and products that you need.
Yeah.
And look, you can go out and buy every supplement under the sun. Sometimes too much is not the right equation. And people are on limited budgets these days as well. So it's what are just the core essentials that I need? What was your first experience with supplements?
My first experience was some I'm trying very hard not to say.
I'm gonna go ahead and drop the arm because I'm gonna be sound.
You'll be dead in 10 minutes with all these arms.
The horn's gonna run out of gas in a minute if I keep doing that.
Anyways, some protein I bought from the supermarket, and then some flavored creatine. It was a weird thing,
Flavored creatine.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
in some purple tub. And then I guess back when I was in uni, I used to live off these Musashi P30 protein shakes in the little cardboard carton.
I remember those too.
Yeah, and now crazy. Now I'm making Musashi sups.
I know. It's funny how it all comes around. It's funny that both of our first experiences were with Musashi brands. That's pretty cool. What about you, Hal? What was the first supplement you ever used? What was it,
Mine was the standard whey protein, and it wasn't Musashi.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
It was
Get out.
What do you mean? There's other brands?
Your internship just ran out.
Oh man.
No, so it was just a standard whey protein.
Yeah, it was pretty average. It mixed horribly. It tasted crap. So we just would have 2 scoops of that after each workout.
Yeah,
that's all we did.
And that's probably most people's first experience. It's either a protein powder or a creatine. And creatine, because it's probably the most researched sports supplement on the market.
Yeah.
It's got the most scientific evidence, and it's one of the cheapest.
Yeah, exactly.
And it provides actual results.
Yeah, so maybe
we kick off with creatine.
Yeah, good old creatine.
That would be one of my sort of number one supplements that I would recommend.
Yeah.
For anyone starting out and experienced.
Quick question. What is creatine?
You tell me. You're the scientist,
Well-
but careful not to get too scientific.
It's going to be very, very hard to not get too
It's
scientific.
allowed to get scientific here, sure, if we're asking to be.
Heaps of different forms of creatine. Creatine monohydrate has the most scientific evidence and
Yeah, so
supported.
basically creatine is actually made from some amino acids. So your body actually makes about 1 to 2 grams of creatine per day.
there you go. And you can get it from food sources as well,
You can. It's found in a lot of meats and things like that.
but not enough.
And things like that.
Yes! This is going to be a long podcast.
I'm going to die. I've already had 300 milligrams of caffeine. Oh my God. Lucky I have a massive caffeine tolerance,
Exactly.
which is something we'll talk about later.
We are 5 minutes in and he's
Yeah.
3 shots down. This could get interesting.
You're going to have to go straight to the gym after this.
Yeah, I might have a nap pretty early tonight.
All right, so creatine, amino acids to get you back on track.
Yeah, so creatine's made from amino acids, but it's not an amino acid itself.
Yep.
Um,
So what is it? Look at him. Just go with the flow, man. We'll never get through this. So creatine, what is it? How is it helping? Let's just keep it top line. What is it doing?
So any exercise or any activity you do that lasts less than 10 seconds requires this thing called ATP.
So weightlifting, sprinting.
Weightlifting, sprinting, anything explosive, jumping.
Yep.
All of that uses your creatine phosphagen energy system.
Yes.
And that relies on ATP.
Right. So creatine goes through a conversion process in the body to produce ATP.
Yeah. So ATP is like your energy currency in your
Yes.
body, right? So all these other energy systems in your body also somehow end up producing ATP.
Mm-hmm.
But this creatine system is the most rapidly accessed. So anything under 10 seconds, you're going to need this instant flux of creatine.
Mm-hmm.
Of ATP. So if you don't have a big enough pool, you're going to fatigue very quick, and you're not going to perform best for anything under 10 seconds.
So I think it's important to note, like, especially with a lot of pre-workouts out there these days that are highly caffeinated, creatine's not a product that you can, like, get that. It's not going to give you a buzz or anything like that. The noticeable benefits might come sort of later in a workout or...
Yeah, so really the noticeable benefits of creatine are strength and size. Right?
Strength and size.
Yeah, so it's gonna make you retain a bit more water.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things when you're on creatine is you need to consume quite a bit more water. So just because it's helping with your cell volumization and things like that.
So it's help and things like that.
that.
Oh my god! So cell volumization, as I pour another shot.
Yeah.
So it's basically assisting that cell to become more hydrated or more
It's
hold more water.
Hold more water.
Right.
Well,
You'll be holding a lot of water after this.
specifically in your muscle cells.
Right. So creatine for strength, size, and cell volumization.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Question, and this is a question that comes up a lot. I can't believe we're this many shots in already. Comes up a lot. How much do I need per day? Do I just use it on... Sorry, let's start with one question. How much do I need?
How much do you need? So, like I said, your body produces around 1 to 2 grams per day.
Mm-hmm.
There's... If you look at supplements, not just creatine, anything, right? There's the minimum you can do, the minimum effective dose.
Yes.
Obviously, you don't need creatine to perform, right? Like your body's producing it. But then there's, optimal. What's optimal is, getting enough creatine in your system so you perform at your best. So it's around 5 grams per day.
5 grams per day. So what is that, like teaspoon?
No, that's actually a common misconception.
That's why I brought it up.
Oh, so it's not even open yet,
No.
but there's a scoop in here, right?
Right.
And one of the complaints is, your scoop is a lot bigger than a teaspoon.
Is that how our consumers talk?
Well, that's how I read the emails.
Our scoop is a lot bigger. Yep.
Bro, your scoop is too big.
So what have we done? We put the right amount per scoop.
Yeah, so it's 5 grams per scoop, not 5 mils, which is a teaspoon. So obviously it's a bit less dense than water.
So what are we talking, like if people are using teaspoons? What is that?
It's probably about 2 and a bit teaspoons.
2 and a bit teaspoons. And what happens if you have too much? Because again, you know who we're talking to here, the guys that think that more is better.
Yeah.
So what happens if you have too much creatine?
So
you're not going to get any extra advantages, are you?
No. So there hasn't really been shown to be any significant advantages over, say, 5 grams per day.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing where people do take more than 5 grams per day is a loading phase.
Yes.
So a loading phase isn't necessary in creatine.
So that was old science, really, wasn't it?
Well, not necessarily. So it takes some time for creatine to work, right? You want your blood levels of creatine to hit a certain level for you to receive the maximum benefit.
Mm-hmm.
So if you take 5 grams per day, it's going to take a few weeks for you to get there, depending on your diet and your creatine levels already. So the idea of loading phase is you get to this blood level much faster.
Right.
But taking too much creatine at once can lead to a bit of digestive discomfort and bloating.
And I think that's what a lot of the complaints around creatine is, sort of that digestive upset or bloating, and it's probably because you're using too much, so back off.
Exactly. And that's why we actually use something called micronized creatine. So the particle sizes are very small, micronized, right?
Right.
So because smaller particle sizes, easier to dissolve in water, so not so irritating to you.
He's struggling not to get
I'm
scientific.
so struggling not to say
He's
that.
paranoid now.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. Do I need to use it on non-training days? You talk about 3 weeks to get up to sort of optimal levels.
Yeah. So
Should we be using it every day?
if you're on creatine, you should be using it every day. The ideal time to use it is post-workout, although timing isn't as important as, achieving this blood level consistently. Typically, you'd be on creatine for around 12 to 16 weeks because it's not ideal to consistently be on creatine,
Right. So you give the body a break for what, a couple of weeks and then jump back on, or month
just
or so?
give the body a break,
Yep.
I've been on creatine nonstop for 2 years.
I've been on creatine non-stop for 20 years.
Wow.
And look at me. I look like a child.
Yeah.
We look the same age.
Yeah, you look younger than me.
So creatine's definitely sort of up there on the list. The next question I get is, when should I be using it? Does it even matter? Like, do I use it pre-workout? Do I use it post-workout? Do I use it throughout the day?
Well, obviously, creatine has a large number of benefits during your workout, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you should have it immediately before.
Right.
The best time is actually post-workout, but like I said, timing is not as important when it comes to creatine.
Once you reach those levels?
Once you reach that levels, your blood creatine levels are going to be, at the optimal levels to support your training. So timing is less important, but best time post-workout, second best time pre-workout, but
And
it's...
post-workout, why? For those cell volumization benefits?
Exactly. So there was a study comparing creatine timing, and there was shown to be some benefit to taking it post-workout.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah,
You're doing well so far on and not getting too scientific.
I'm
so
trying to dumb
impressed.
it down. Yeah.
I'm not too worried about that one as much as the and things like that.
That's what I'm worried about.
When you say timing isn't important, does that mean it doesn't matter if you take it all in one go, or if you have it in, say, 2 liters of water and sip it over the course of an hour or so?
Yeah, but actually on that, creatine is not actually very stable in water. So that's why you don't see it in a lot of RTDs. And
If you see it in a lot of the drinks ready to go, it's probably it's not stable.
yeah, so
There's not too many.
there's not too many drinks
Out
out
there.
there with creatine, but there are some. And typically it degrades to something called creatinine, which is a byproduct,
Right.
which has no benefits.
How long does that usually take?
In water,
Yeah.
it depends on the pH of the water, things like that, blah, blah, blah.
And things like that.
But that was specifically...
Okay, so I think we've covered creatine.
different forms of creatine.
Yes, it's another question I get. And I think the industry has sort of come back around to basic creatine monohydrate.
Yeah, so creatine monohydrate. So creatine is this, dipeptide molecule, which you talked about. Monohydrate, just one water attached to it. So monohydrate, right? So this is the simplest form of creatine, right? There's been a large number of different types of creatines over the years to try and prove that they're better than the original creatine monohydrate. There's creatine ethyl ester, creatine HCl, creatine, crealkaline, all these different kinds of things. They've all come and gone, and it's kind of comes full circle back to creatine monohydrate because no other form of creatine has been shown to be more effective.
And good news on creatine, it is it's a supplement that you can use if you are in a drug-tested sport, as long as the product is batch tested, which ours is in form sport.
Gang.
Funny story on that. Creatine. So creatine was actually involved in a high-profile drug failure.
It was.
I know we were talking about this the other day.
A famous MMA fighter who shall remain nameless.
Jon Jones, but anyway, so basically, a lot of these dodgy creatine manufacturers around the world also manufacture steroids in the same plant.
Yep.
Obviously our creatine is batch tested. We know every single batch that we produce, free of banned substances, safe for all athletes to use. But a lot of drug dealers also buy creatine because it's a nice fine white powder.
Right.
And they mix all these other white powders with it, such as cocaine.
Right.
So this one athlete was, partying, doing some
Party drugs?
Yep, some things that he
Recreational
puts up,
substance.
Allegedly.
putting things up his nostrils, and the drug dealer who he bought this from actually cut his drugs with
Creatine.
from a poor supplier.
So a tainted creatine supplement that was cut with a party drug has caused him to fail a drug test with USADA.
Because the creatine was tainted with steroids. So
Crazy. So that's why you always have to know where your products are coming from, where they're manufactured, and of course look out for that Inform Sport logo.
yeah.
So creatine, I think, covered. Anything else that you want to cover on creatine? That's sort of the basics.
Yeah, that's pretty much the basics. There's actually a lot of research coming out on creatine now and all these other effects. So
Health benefits.
Heaps of health benefits, not just for your muscles, but for your brain as well, and even some anti-Alzheimer's potential.
Yeah, and I know I remember seeing a study way back on pregnant women with undersized babies. While they're pregnant, they were using creatine to actually boost the or bring the size of the baby up to a normal size. So that was quite interesting as well.
Yeah, and one of the other cool studies is about sleep deprivation. So creatine can actually help your brain functioning when you're actually sleep deprived. That's how I function. I am so sleep deprived, but I'm functioning. Because of the creatine.
It is.
Yeah.
Pre-workout, probably one of the hottest products in the last 10 to 15 years in the sports supplement industry. There's so many different versions of pre-workouts. I remember one of the first ones I saw was a product called Swole. And they used to be actually a lot more functional back in the day when they first came out. There was heavy doses of good functional ingredients. And somewhere along the line, they got dosed with actually amphetamines, really high doses of caffeine, like unsafe levels. And there was a bit of a shift in the pre-workout product market, which was, look, young guys love it. They love that buzz and that rush and the gritting of the teeth, and it's helping them to lift. But the actual long-term health risks from using those products far outweighs the benefits that you're getting for a 1 hour gym session to lift a little bit more.
Exactly.
So what should people be looking for in a pre-workout product? Obviously, you want a little bit of a stimulant, but we should be looking for some good functional ingredients as well, right?
Exactly.
It's not all about caffeine.
Yeah. So, some of these pre-workouts in the past used to contain all kinds of things in them, like you mentioned amphetamines. But in the past, especially, some of these foreign brands, they used to have proprietary blends. So the first thing you should look out for on a protein is proprietary blends.
On a pre-workout.
On a pre-workout, sorry.
Yeah, so if it's got a proprietary blend, what that means is they'll list all the ingredients on the back, but they won't actually show the exact amount of each ingredient. They might just give a total at the bottom. So you never know how much of each ingredient you're getting. So it could be just dosed with the cheapest ingredient on that list that makes up the majority of the total grammage, and then there's a sprinkle of everything else, not an actual good dose of it.
Yeah.
So
and there used to be these other hidden ingredients on there. So like something called geranium extract.
Yeah. So nearly every pre-workout, that was a while ago now, probably 10 years ago, had this ingredient in it.
Yeah. So what it actually was something called 1,3-dimethylamine, and it was a crazy stimulant that got people going and actually caused a few heart failures and actually caused a few deaths in America.
It did, and I think the thing that brought it to light was there was a few deaths of some U.S. Army.
Yeah, exactly.
And it brought it to the forefront of, I think sports supplements seem to fly under the radar a lot, and as soon as you get a few deaths, and especially to like people that are representing the country, like in the Army or the Navy or whatever, that's when people start to take notice.
Yeah.
So what happened is basically...
Well, a lot of these manufacturers got shut down. There's still plenty of pre-workouts out there with proprietary blends. A lot of them do put these crazy things like amphetamines in there because, the thing about a pre-workout is it works straight away. You can feel it working.
And that's not necessarily the gauge to a good pre-workout.
No.
So just because you feel it working and you're getting this intense sort of focus, and that doesn't mean that it's actually benefiting you. You're just getting this big stimulant hit. And then that can cause a huge crash after your workout as well.
Exactly. So the thing about our pre-workout is, we've got no proprietary blend. We list the quantity of every single ingredient on there. It's formulated specifically for sports performance and training at the gym. You can feel it work straight away. So, there's no amphetamines and things in there. It's caffeine, it's amino acids, it's all the good stuff.
Mm-hmm. So what are some of the core ingredients in a pre-workout that we should be looking for?
Yeah, so you can basically think about it as 3 categories of ingredients within a pre-workout. So stimulant. Mm-hmm. Some pre-workouts don't have a stimulant, but, the most common is caffeine.
Yes.
The most extreme is amphetamine.
Yep. So good dose of caffeine. What's a good dose of caffeine? Because I've seen them range anywhere from 80 to 100 milligrams, like a cup of coffee, a strong cup of coffee, through to, I've seen 400 milligrams in some products, which is the equivalent to what? 8 cups of coffee?
Well, a typical cup of coffee is about 60 to 80 milligrams. So,
there you go.
yeah, 5 to 6 cups of coffee.
Yeah, crazy.
It's a lot. And a Red Bull is also about 80 milligrams.
Yep.
Just to put that into perspective.
Yeah, so it's the equivalent of potentially drinking sort of 4 to 6 Red Bulls all at once.
Pretty much. So, the thing about our pre-workout is before we launched it, we did an extensive toxicology risk assessment.
Mm-hmm.
So we got the formulation scientifically evaluated, and to evaluate every single ingredient in there and the interaction with each other, and to make sure it's safe before we released it out into the wild.
You're a little bit more energetic today, though, so it is having some effect on you.
I'm feeling like... are you sure you put our pre-workout in there? I'm feeling like pretty hyped up.
Yeah, good.
Hal may have double or triple dosed it, so
Yeah.
but you haven't.
Hands are still steady, so it's all good.
Good
All right,
thing,
so-
good thing we batch tested it. Otherwise, we'd have your jaw swinging and your pupils dilating.
Exactly.
All right, so what's a pre-workout do? It's got a few different functions, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, create focus.
Yeah, so we're talking about these three categories of ingredients. So first one is stimulant.
Mm-hmm.
Second one is something to do with your blood flow. So when you're training, you want your blood flow to your muscles enhanced.
Yep.
Typically, there's 3 ingredients that can fall into this category. Originally it was arginine, or arginine alpha ketoglutarate. It was just type of arginine. Then it's moved to things like citrulline and ornithine. Basically, the idea is, all of these are involved in something called nitric oxide, your nitric oxide pathway, which dilates your blood vessels and allows blood to flow better.
So why is allowing blood to flow better important for someone training in the gym?
Well, you want big veins, of course, when you're lifting weights.
So it's a delivery of more blood to the muscle,
Yeah, more blood to the muscles means more nutrients to the muscles.
which means more growth, more efficient recovery.
Exactly.
Yep.
The next class of ingredients are performance-enhancing ingredients, or, well, not to be confused with performance-enhancing drugs, but,
Yep.
Things like creatine, beta-alanine,
Yes.
amino acids. All of these have a function in a pre-workout as well.
We get a lot of questions about beta-alanine, and it's an ingredient that not a lot of people are familiar with. I think we have mentioned it previously on the podcast, but beta-alanine is one of the most underrated ingredients in sports supplements.
Yeah, so behind creatine, beta-alanine is probably the second most extensively studied ingredient in sports nutrition. It's pretty important when it comes to activities longer than 10 seconds. So, we talked about creatine being important under 10 seconds. Beta-alanine is a bit more important in those activities a bit longer.
Right. So it's a bit of a sort of a lactic acid buffer.
Exactly. So what it does is it increases your beta-alanine is a means to the end, right? It increases something called carnosine in your muscle. So this muscle carnosine acts as a buffer to lactic acid.
Right. And when used in conjunction with creatine, you're sort of getting the short-term effects of creatine and the longer-term effects of beta-alanine.
Yeah. So when your arms start to feel like jelly and you're getting that that failure in muscle contraction, that's kind of when beta-alanine is going to help.
Never get failure in muscle contraction. No.
Yeah.
Haven't
1,000 reps, bicep curls.
So you've got mental, performance. What's the third category for this pre-workout supplement?
What do you mean?
I don't know. Maybe I wasn't listening.
Yeah. So I said stimulants, mental performance,
Yes.
blood flow,
Yes.
and performance enhancing
There you
things
go.
like
Blood
creatine
flow,
and beta-alanine.
And then
Right.
partying, so recreational.
No, don't ever recommend that.
No.
So you should be looking for ingredients that sit within those 3 things. Like that's what a pre-workout should help with.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't be too far in one of those things. So if it's too highly in the stimulant-based thing, but not enough functional ingredients for performance and blood flow, maybe it's not the right formula for you.
Yeah. The other thing that's in there are amino acids, and we talked about amino acids extensively on our amino acids episode.
Check that out.
Yeah, I'd be getting buzzed very, very often in that episode because it was quite technical. But one of the key amino acids in our pre-workout at quite a high dose is something called tyrosine.
Yes.
So tyrosine is very important when it comes to your neurotransmitter levels. Importantly, specifically for dopamine and serotonin. So creatine causes this dump of neurotransmitters. You can think of tyrosine as almost like a fuel to make sure you're not flat after the caffeine.
Nice.
Yeah.
Pre-workout done. How far before a workout should we be using it? I see a lot of guys sort of mixing it up while they're sitting there on the bench.
Yeah. How far before workout do you take it?
I usually allow sort of 30 to 40 minutes.
Yeah. So
Really?
Yep.
For pre-workout?
yeah, same here. So actually, it takes a while for your body to metabolize all of the ingredients in the pre-workout. Although you might actually feel it working within 5 minutes for some people.
The effects of the caffeine and the beta-alanine seem to kick in fairly quickly.
Yep.
But yeah, I find, and especially like if I've got too much liquid on my stomach as I'm about, or just sitting there as I'm about to train, it's off-putting as well. So I like to go in with sort of that empty stomach feeling.
Yeah. So about 30 minutes is the sweet spot. I like to actually have it about 15 to 30 minutes before training.
Hardcore.
Some people actually take it too far before training. So like, I'm just doing all these shots right now. I'm actually not going to receive any benefits in my workout tonight because I probably would have crashed by the caffeine by this afternoon.
Yeah, well, normally if it was dosed correctly, you'd be fine. But yeah, Hal's sabotaged you.
Yeah.
Triple dose.
Right.
Triple shot.
Next time.
One key thing about pre-workout is, one question is, should I take it every day?
Yeah.
The answer is probably not, because caffeine is something that's quite addictive and something that you can build up a tolerance to.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about caffeine is you can build up an insurmountable tolerance, right? If you have caffeine way too often, even if you have heaps of caffeine, it's not going to have the same effect. So like what I mean by a tolerance is the more you have, the less effective it is, right?
And it's the common thing I see with a lot with the younger guys. I walk into a supplement store. That product was great. The effects are wearing off. You got something stronger. They're always chasing that stimulant hit.
Yeah.
And you end up just
becoming dependent upon it.
Yeah. And I would only recommend people sort of, if you are looking for a higher stimulant pre-workout, maybe just utilize them on big days like a leg workout or a big back workout or something like that. Don't become too dependent on them for every single workout.
Yeah, and me mainly training powerlifting style, I only use pre-workout on my squat or deadlift days.
Yep.
So
right.
Twice a week is
twice
optimal.
a week.
Yeah.
There you go.
In conclusion.
Next time that people are using, or we recommend people use sports supplements, and this is sort of, again, a newer sort of time. People were just mainly drinking water during a workout or sipping on like a Gatorade or something like that. Now people are using amino acids during a workout. And we've got a product obviously called intra workout. Why during a workout?
Yeah, so there's a number of benefits, right? Obviously, having amino acids in your body, in your blood, is gonna support something called muscle protein synthesis, which is can be interpreted as muscle growth and recovery.
Mm-hmm.
Having the sufficient amino acids in your blood is gonna have some kind of anti-fatigue potential as well, because these amino acids compete with other amino acids and neurotransmitters that are gonna make you feel fatigue.
Right. So originally, when these sort of during workout products came out, they were just really a combination of your branched chain amino acids and potentially just some glutamine.
Yeah.
Our intra workout is a pretty much a complete profile of all the essential amino acids.
Yeah. So it's all but one. So there's no cysteine in there, but basically it's these 9 essential amino acids that are or 9 amino acids that are really helping you out. We talked about it quite extensively on the amino acid podcast, but if you think of amino acids like letters of the alphabet, protein like a book, right? Protein's going to have all these benefits, but like you mentioned, having a little bit of water in it is quite uncomfortable for you when you train. Same thing about having protein or a protein meal, right? It's going to have benefits by having amino acids and protein digested into your bloodstream, but it's quite uncomfortable for a lot of people to train with. So that's how BCAA is involved. It's specifically the 3 most important amino acids that are easy to consume while you're training.
And I think that's why sports supplements became a thing in the first place. It's like if you sit down and have a big meal half an hour before a workout, or you're trying to consume some sort of food-based product during a workout, it's just going to sit on your stomach. While you're training, your digestive system sort of starts to shut down. So not shut down, but it slows down. And a lot of these foods just sit on your stomach. And they're taking a long time to digest as well. Like if you're looking at protein sources from food, it can take anywhere from sort of 2 to 4 to 6 to 8 hours, depending on the protein source. Yeah. Whereas sipping on amino acids, free-form amino acids while you're training, they don't actually go through that complete digestion process.
Yeah, so we talked about it quite a lot on the amino acid episode, but when you have a protein, all these letters of the alphabet are together like words, right? But your stomach needs to cut them up, the enzymes and the acid in your stomach, and before they actually absorb. Whereas free-form amino acids, when you drink them, they absorb straight away.
Right. So the core reason we're having these is what? To prevent muscle tissue breakdown, remain hydrated,
and prevent fatigue.
Is there any other ingredients in the intra workout that are helping to prevent fatigue? Is there any?
Well, there's some beetroot juice powder in there as well, which can help with your blood flow. It's like a natural source of nitrates.
Yep.
An important thing about intra workout is that it's very tasty, right?
So good. It's not too sweet.
Exactly, but there's a reason behind this, because if you're drinking water, sometimes you forget to drink water. Like you're just drinking to your thirst.
Yeah.
Often.
Water's boring.
Water's boring, and thirst is already a signal that you're dehydrated, right? A lot of athletes do drink to thirst, and it's probably the best way your body regulates it. But by having something really tasty, you're going to be encouraged to drink it a bit more and stay hydrated. Hydration's obviously super important when it comes to performing at your best.
Beautiful.
Our watermelon intra workout.
It's good. You like it?
Best cure for a hangover I've ever seen in my life.
All about the hangover for Hal, isn't it?
It's only pre-workout before a night out and intra workout the morning after.
Yeah.
I had a big weekend.
Like we said before, during, after, we're talking about the gym.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. So that's during, after. I see again. You see guys sort of the minute they get off a piece of equipment, they're basically rushing to their bag to pull the protein powder out, to get it in the shaker.
The 30-second anabolic window.
Yeah, it's the 30-second. Like it used to be considered 30-minute, but people are just rushing to get it and consuming protein powder. Why protein powder after a workout?
Yeah, so, the number one thing is convenience, right? Frying a chicken breast straight after the workout is, probably the last thing you feel like doing. And
that's a common argument. And you sort of get sick of seeing it. It's like, I'll just go home and have a chicken breast after my workout.
Just have one in each pocket out of your
exercise
bag.
That's right. All right, have you cooked it and you brought it to the gym and it's sitting in your stinky gym bag and it's going to take, 6 hours to digest? And
exactly. And, there's all these guys out there that say, why do you have protein shakes when you can just eat food? Like, okay, yes, you can.
I don't know who you're talking to. They talk really weird.
I was trying to imitate Hal, but basically, you can get all the protein you need from food.
Yes, but it's digestion time and it's starting that recovery process as quick as possible.
Yeah, so nutrient timing is important, right? Like I said, there's the minimum effective dose, the minimum you can do, right? You can rely on food only to support your workout. There's, all the evidence suggests that it's possible to do so. But, there's minimal and then there's optimal, right? Maximizing nutrient timing, getting these fast digesting proteins, being that whole convenience factor of just shaking it up and having it ready to go. It's easy.
So you touched on fast digesting proteins. Let's explore that a little bit more. What types of proteins should we be consuming after a workout? So there's a few different types of protein powders. You've got your micellar casein, you've got caseins, you've got your whey protein concentrate, whey protein isolate, the sort of milk proteins. It's confusing. What should I be having after a workout?
Well, so, we talked about this a bit on the how much protein do I need episode, but there's a few different measures of protein quality, right? On basically every measure, whey protein is the best protein you can have right now.
Yep.
When it comes to how much is retained by your body, how much is absorbed, and the amino acid profile, providing your body with all the amino acids that it needs.
So whey protein is probably the go-to source for after a workout. So you look for whey protein. And
yep, and on that, there's a few different types of whey protein. There's whey protein concentrate, whey protein isolate, then whey protein hydrolysate, right? Whey protein concentrate is about 80% protein, right? So that means there's some other parts of milk, right? Whey comes from milk.
Yes.
Whey protein isolate is a bit higher percentage of protein, right? 100% whey is actually a combination of isolate and concentrate.
So what are some of the benefits that isolate has, and then some of the benefits that concentrate has? Because they're both, I know they get compared a lot, but they both have pros, not really cons, but they both have pros. Isolate's going to digest faster.
Isolate's going to digest faster. It actually typically contains no lactose in there, and that means a lot less sugars and fat. It also tastes worse, right?
Right.
Whey protein concentrate actually still has some, because it doesn't go through the second the second filtration step that whey protein isolate has, means that there's still some peptides in this. Like we said, amino acids, letters of the alphabet, peptides are words.
Yep.
Right. Proteins almost like a chapter of a book. So it's still got these important peptides in there, like lactalbumins and lactoferrin and things like that.
Yep.
Which still have some beneficial effects in your body. Comes to building muscle, immunity, all kinds of things.
Right. So straight whey protein after a workout. Should we be consuming some carbs? I know some people have different goals.
Yeah. So obviously it depends on your goals, but having carbs straight after a workout replenishes your muscle glycogen. And carbs have a protein sparing effect. That means you're not using the proteins within your muscles to.
And it depends when your next workout as well is. Like, for me, like I'd rather have a straight whey protein after a workout. If I know that there's going to be potentially a full day before my next workout, I'll be able to replenish glycogen throughout the day through meals anyway.
Yeah. So.
But if you're doing 2 a days, you're training in the morning and you're doing a sport at night, you could potentially look at including some carbohydrates in with your whey protein after a workout.
If you keep interrupting him, you're going to do a shot as well.
That'll be the next week's game.
Yeah,
huh?
next week's game.
Yeah.
We're going to get a bigger horn.
We can do that.
The cucaracha, the taxi horn. Anyway.
Was that an
Oh, we're giving up.
Oh, no!
Oh, okay. I can be free now. So, like we said, creatine. It's about reaching these levels. Amino acids are the same. You want this amino acid availability in your blood throughout the day, and obviously, you're gonna go through dips and things as you feed and stuff. So that's why people like BCAAs during a workout, protein after a workout. If you have protein before a workout, you're gonna have some protein in amino acids in your blood anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So
and protein powder has all the amino acids, not just the essentials, right?
Exactly. So all 20 that you need.
Our 100% whey, again, Informed Sport certified, batch tested, used by all of our athletes and teams. Those are probably the key supplements that we would recommend to support your training and performance and recovery. If you were going to, if you're on a really limited budget, right? Like you're a uni student, like Hal, and you're basically just eating like baked beans and tuna cans, but you want some supplements. What would be your 2 go-to supplements?
Protein and creatine.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hal, you're a bit of a case study. How long have you been with us
Bit of a
now?
case.
You're a bit of a case and a case study.
Case.
You've been with us for a while now. It feels like since you were at least 8.
So last year.
So you've been here, what, a year?
11 months.
11 months.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm surprised you made it this long. 11 months. And so you've basically been introduced to the supplement world, sort of.
Yeah.
And you've learnt sort of the last 11 months what I should be using. And what are some of the benefits that you've noticed in yourself? Whether it be performance-based or purely aesthetic or...
Bit of both, actually. You should have done a case study on me for sure. But when I first started working here, I barely knew what Musashi was. Obviously, I heard about it. I was using other random protein powders, but I don't even use... I use just plant protein.
Yep.
I try and stay vegan with my supplements, except for creatine. I guess that comes from something.
We haven't educated him enough yet.
Creatine synthetic.
Not vegan. Sorry, I just don't like the lactose in whey or anything. But
everyone.
So I was just having plant protein after a workout, and I started using all of these. I put on 10 kilos, and I'm lifting a lot heavier.
Yeah.
10 kilos, but you've gotten leaner.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You came to us like a little chubby little boy.
I wasn't chubby. Come on.
Yeah.
So I've definitely noticed I've got leaner for sure. And I think some of that is I've been exercising a little bit more as well.
Of
but
course.
a lot of it is definitely because of this.
Yeah, look, and supplements are not that miracle magical pill. You got to put in the hard work as well.
Exactly. But I think it's because that I've been recovering quicker and it's been giving me the energy. That's why I've been able to exercise quicker.
We just got to get you to stop partying and on the weekends, and you'll get even better results.
Yeah, imagine that.
That'll take a while.
Yeah, Hal basically went from Draymond Green to LeBron James.
I went from GOAT to second best.
Okay.
So we didn't really touch up plant protein, but obviously some people don't like dairy. Avoid dairy. Plant protein, it's a blend of a few different types of protein. So it provides you all these amino acids as well, and it's a good alternative to whey.
It's a good alternative. Ours is complete source, and we're in the process of getting our plant protein Informed Sport certified because a lot of our teams and athletes reached out to us and basically said we 3/4 of the team are using whey-based protein, but some of our players are like yourself, Hal, prefer a plant source. So
Yeah.
in the near future, our plant protein will be Informed Sport certified for those athletes.
Currently,
as well.
it contains hemp protein, which is kind of a gray area when it comes to
Good source of plant
it's
protein.
a good source of protein, but it's a gray area when it comes to anti-doping testing. So we're going to replace the hemp with chia seed protein.
Nice. Any other questions from you, Hal? You reckon we've covered it?
I have heaps, but not on the top of my head.
No, that's
they'll,
cool.
They'll come to me eventually.
On the banned substance thing, now that I just thought about it, caffeine was actually a banned substance up until 2004.
Really?
Because obviously it improves your performance so much. It was considered a performance-enhancing drug. But then, they did a survey saying 75% of athletes consume coffee and caffeine. So, it's part of people's lives. So they've taken it off the anti-doping list.
Yeah, I remember there was actually an Australian athlete, I think he was a fencer back in the day, actually failed a drug test for caffeine. Because it's just that extreme focus, you know what I mean? Like in something like fencing, it can help.
Wow.
Yeah.
I just saw an ad for fencing. They said it's the best spot during coronavirus because you have to keep people a meter and a half away from you, and if they come any closer, you can stay out there and you wear a mask.
Nice.
Very true.
Let's launch into some sporting topics. Have you got any for us this week, Hal?
Yeah, of course. Got
Beautiful.
A few. What about Jon Jones, who we mentioned earlier? So I have an article saying that he's vacating the light heavyweight championship.
Saw this last couple of days. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think people have been screaming out for this for a while because he's done everything he possibly can in that light heavyweight division. There are a couple of other challenges, but I think he's sort of lost motivation in that division.
Is he the greatest of all time?
100%.
Yeah, you can't argue.
There's a tiny asterisk because of what some
Because
of
of
those
this drug testing.
yes,
area.
the things we talked about earlier. But look, he's beaten everyone.
Yeah.
So it's time for some new challenges. I hope they put him straight up for the title against Stipe. Obviously, Stipe has just beaten Daniel Cormier on the weekend. So I hope they put him straight in there
Yeah,
for a title shot.
definitely one of a kind. So, we'll see what happens.
I want to see him actually not... Because his brothers play in the NFL, and they're huge.
Yeah.
So I want to see him not dieting to make the light heavyweight division. I want to see how big he can get. But obviously, he's got that trade-off with not getting too big. He wants to still maintain his speed and movement advantage that he's got.
Yeah, he's been training quite a bit of powerlifting, since he's stepped out of the ring, and he's been getting pretty strong. For somebody so skinny and lanky looking,
Yep.
he's very, very strong.
Oh,
On the other hand, Stipe, he's been training with Westside Barbell, so you've seen the conditioning. He's come in,
And he came in a lot leaner and a lot smaller than what he usually does for that last fight, and maybe for a bit of a speed advantage. So it's very tactical, but yeah, I'm interested to see it.
yeah. Powerlifters are the strongest. So.
On powerlifters,
On that topic.
We do have a rather grisly video to show you.
Let's
this
check
is
it out.
this powerlifting video is gone viral in the last few days. So yeah, look, big disclaimer on this video. If you don't want to see something a little bit gruesome, maybe turn away or skip this part. Obviously, for people listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, you might want to jump on YouTube if you're keen to see something. But there was talk us through this, Dhiren, because you're a powerlifter. I've actually got one of your powerlifting videos that we can compare, but hopefully this didn't happen to you. Let's check this out. Talk us through it.
Yeah,
For the
so
record, I don't want to watch this.
You can turn away, Hal.
Yeah, I will.
And turn away anyone that's got a bit of a weak stomach. It's not
pretty sure this is mature audiences over 15. So
Look, and there is
close
a-
your eyes. Yeah.
There is a
Let's go
disclaimer.
full screen.
Yeah, full screen. Oh, God.
Should
Okay.
we unmute?
Yeah. So what this thing is called is a monolift. So basically, the idea is that when you don't need to step away when you unrack it. See, this thing swings apart.
Mm-hmm.
But he did step away, which actually caused some imbalances over there.
I can see him shifting between his heel and his toes. He's trying to create it. Oh,
He's trying to get that stability, right?
Dhiren.
And if your starting position is compromised,
Oh, shit.
yeah,
Oh, okay. I'm out.
That's pretty gruesome.
I can't watch that again.
Should we watch it again? Oh, okay.
Do you want to?
Get it off the screen.
Yeah, it was pretty gruesome. He broke both of his knees, but luckily, he was lifting in a safe monolift and it caught him, right?
Right.
If that happens to somebody in the gym on a regular squat rack,
There's spinal issues as well as knees and
you
everything.
can get pinned. So
Have you seen many people get pinned?
I've seen some pretty bad injuries.
Mainly in the gym or in comp?
in comp, because the thing is, you're pushing it to the limit. That guy was squatting 400 kilos.
Yeah.
Right. This was amongst the best in the world. That's at the European Championships. So
Speaking of powerlifters,
The best in the
mate,
world.
and for some street cred here, you're not just a brain. You actually do lift weights as well. But you're a New Zealand powerlifting champion. Let's check out one of your videos.
Dhiren
Yes.
on his computer a while
Look how
ago
pumped.
showed me a list of all the powerlifting titles that he still holds in New Zealand.
Wow,
let's go full screen. Full screen. Come on.
full screen.
So this was actually at Prorawr. So Prorawr is, in my opinion, the greatest powerlifting competition to ever happen.
Yes.
And this was at the Arnold Expo last year.
Arnold Expo last year, Dhiren.
The guys that run this competition, man, they're doing something good and taking powerlifting to the
What
next level.
did you have pre-workout before this lift?
I was juiced up on pre-workout.
Oh, you were going to say something else. Was this a PB for you?
Yep, this is a PB. So this is 245.
245 in the what? Under
Under 80 class, which it's a bit heavy for me. So usually I'm about 78. I was like the lightest guy here. I ate breakfast and weighed in at 78.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So you should have been competing like a weight class lower, really?
No. Well,
No?
Prorawr is it's kind of
it's-
an exhibition comp, so they
right.
make their own weight classes. So it's just 80 kilos with a 2-hour weigh-in. So
All right, let's check out Dhiren in action. Let's hope nothing happens to his knees.
yeah, triple body weight. Squat.
Look at him. Oh, he's shouting.
G'd
I've
up.
never seen you like this, Dhiren.
Oh my god,
This is crazy.
you're an animal.
That lady's got some sick tats. Look at the crowd. That's a hardcore crowd there.
It was a massive crowd.
Ah, okay, let's watch it.
See, I didn't step back. Like that.
No. Solid. Ay, get up there. There you go.
Yeah.
Is it just one? Oh, nice.
Just one rep.
Yep,
That's it.
just
That's
one rep.
powerlifting. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. So basically, a lot of people don't have this monolift contraption to train with.
Mhm.
So you can see the guy that did it stepped up, because in the gym, typically you step out when you squat.
Right. So what's that habit for him?
Yeah, well, you're allowed to often, because really, when it comes to game day, you don't want to change too much. So if your part of your routine is stepping out, why not do it in comp? But one of the advantages of a monolift is you can unrack it without stepping, so you have your stable straight away.
Yep.
So that
was cool.
was my PB.
Loved it.
Yeah, maybe we'll break it one.
When are
day.
you back? No comps at the moment, or
No comps at the moment. I
Yep.
don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm just like a sprinting powerlifting yogi at the moment.
Beautiful.
So just doing all kinds of training.
Crazy.
Hope to get back. into
Shout
it
out
soon.
to Daily Telegraph. What else we got, Hal?
Shout out to Prorawr Powerlifting.
Baby.
Yeah.
Are we gonna get R&D back on the screen?
Have we got any more topics?
We do. A few more groping incidents surfaced inside the Richmond Tigers club room.
Wow.
Oh, that's why you had that up there. Not bad. Yeah. So quite a few instances of people groping each other in AFL.
So this is this happened in the change rooms of a team, and it's come to light recently in the media because one of the new players to the team, I believe he was a new player, was getting sort of touched up by the boys
Yeah.
after they were celebrating.
Yeah.
And a bit of controversy because a bit of racial profiling. Grabbing his crotch because he's an African guy. The stereotypes over there, but locker rooms have this little behavior of pats on the butt, a little bit of cheekiness. So I don't know, where do you stand on this?
I was going to ask you guys first. You know where I stand. Probably it's like I've
Grope
been,
away.
man, I've been in that many football locker rooms over the years, and this happens all the time.
Yeah.
It's like this is just so much part of the 2020 cancel culture. Like we've got nothing else to focus on but what goes on in a team's locker room. Look, there's a disclaimer here. If the player didn't want it to happen, then it's bad. But I believe the player in this case came out and said it was all sort of friendly banter. This shows me that there's actually good culture within the team. They're all lads, obviously. They're young guys. They're making silly decisions anyway, but it shows good bonding throughout the team. A lot of people that come out and complain of this, and I'm not. This is not a sexist thing, but have been females that maybe haven't been exposed to boy or young men culture inside sporting locker rooms.
But the thing is, it happened in women's AFL as well.
Yeah.
It happens in women's AFL all the time.
Yeah.
Like we sponsor the
And
Western Bulldogs,
They
the
brush
women's
it off
team.
as well. Yeah.
They someone does something good on the field, they give each other a pat on the butt.
Yeah.
I believe there was the Australian women's hockey team.
Yeah.
This is part of sporting culture, and it might seem weird to people that haven't been in locker rooms and things like that, but as long as everyone's okay with it,
Yeah.
then I don't see an issue. To me, it shows a strong unit.
Exactly. To me, it's all about intention. You know, are you intending to make somebody feel uncomfortable? If they're cool with it, I say it's cool.
And look, you look at, like, I've got a young son, right? He's 9 years old. Mate, you watch him play with his mates. They're all just running around on the soccer field, smacking each other on the butt. Like, this is just boys, young boys. And guess what? Boys don't grow up, really.
No.
Yeah.
Until maybe they sort of settle down, have some kids and start to think about things. But these are young guys. I don't see an issue with it at all, as long as all the players are sort of on board and they're all having a laugh and a joke about it.
If it disappeared, if it completely stopped, it's not something that'll be missed. But I agree, I don't have an issue with it either.
Yeah, and look, maybe don't put cameras in change rooms. What goes on in the change room is to that team.
Yeah.
Like, it's not for the media to analyse what's going on in change rooms. And I'll probably cop shit for that, but whatever. Yeah. Okay. What else we got, Hal?
Last one. Oh, this is a bit controversial as well. So the man who killed Michael Jordan's father, James Jordan, back in 1993, he's going to be released from prison in 2023, in August 2023, after 27 years in prison.
It's been 27 years.
Yeah. I know we all just watched The Last Dance, so it feels like it was yesterday, but
Yeah. Wow.
yeah.
That's gone fast.
'Cause
What's
he was
happened to my life?
He was sentenced to life back in 96 when he was caught.
So 20-something years, yeah.
27 years, yeah.
Yeah, we saw it sort of play out in The Last Dance, but I don't know. It's like,
Do you remember it happening?
I do.
Days, yeah.
I do, but not to the extent that I saw in the documentary, but I don't. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know where I stand on that. It's
Well-
like you kill someone and it's
I don't think we know enough either. I don't think we know the motive.
I don't think no one ever found it. I'm all for second chances, but when you kill someone, I don't know.
Yeah. I'm all about, do the crime, you do the time, but, killing somebody, yes, but as well as,
And what is the right amount of time too? It's like
yeah, I know.
27 years or something, is it?
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
That's a lifetime. But you can't replace a human life. Like,
No.
obviously, Michael Jordan's father would probably may
Imagine-
even be still alive today. So he had to deal with that loss for 27 years as well. So
Yeah.
never wish that upon anyone.
That's tricky.
Thanks for bringing the mood down, Hal. Should we
Yeah.
take a shot?
Thanks,
We've had
Al.
some pretty dire
I'm gonna have a
sports
shot
news,
now.
haven't we?
Man, I was actually like wired for a second after this. I was.
Are you? I'm gonna have a shot.
I want to try and bait Dhiren to say
Might as well.
things like that.
Look at him. And things like that.
I love me some pre-workout.
What else? Is there any other sports topics, Hal?
That's it for sports topics.
Listener questions.
We do have some listener questions.
Awesome. If you want to submit some listener questions, throw them out on Instagram, DM us, or podcast at musashi.com.
So first listener question from Ben Alexu. He says, how long does pre-workout usually last? And what's the latest I can have it before it starts to keep me awake at night?
Well, it's lasted this whole episode. This is the most alive I've ever seen Dhiren. So,
Yeah.
Well, so the main thing to think about is half-life, right? So caffeine.
yep.
When you're asking how long does it last, well, the main thing you want to know is how long does the caffeine last?
Yes.
Typically, it takes about 3 to 5 hours for your body to break down caffeine. Well, the half-life, right? To break it down into half of what it was. So your liver metabolizes the caffeine that you ingest. They say for that reason, don't take pre-workout around 3 to 5 hours before bed, which is quite hard if you train at night.
Most people do train at night. That's when the gyms are most packed. You train at night, right, Hal? You're
Most of
playing
the time.
basketball at night as well.
Yeah.
You're training at night.
Yeah, so, the other thing is a lot of people, there's a big genetic component to caffeine, a massive difference in the amount of caffeine people can tolerate and, metabolize. So I'm pretty good. I can have caffeine at 10 p.m.
And still go to sleep.
And still go to sleep.
I can't.
That's whack.
Yeah.
So there's two different, like, if I drink caffeine sort of after, or have any caffeine after 2, 3, I'm shot. I can't sleep.
Yeah.
So it's
Some of the
going to
latest
depend on the individual, but yeah,
Yeah.
trying to minimize it before bed.
Some of the
Too
latest
late.
things I've been reading is, saying that you shouldn't have caffeine 10 hours before bed.
Really?
Yeah. But, it's very different. And, if you're fatigued after work, feeling down, a shot of pre-workout's gonna, bring you back, make you have a good workout.
Well-
So it really depends on you whether you can, how you sleep, because obviously sleep's such an important part of recovery. So you don't want to compromise your recovery just for a bit of a boost. So
Sleep's super important. And you and I were talking about this the other day. I was about to rudely interrupt, but I got scared.
I thought you were saying that I missed him saying and things like that again.
No.
Gave me an excited look.
I was about to interrupt. I was like, oh, geez, Hal's onto it. We were talking about this the other day. If you are training late and you don't want heavy stimulant pre-workout, I mean, I just said to Hal, maybe you can combine our creatine with an intra workout as a non-stimulant style of pre-workout.
Yeah, that's what I usually do.
Yeah.
well, what I've been doing is having our Shred Matrix product, which we'll talk about in another episode.
Yeah,
but
so
New product launching. Oh, it's just launched, actually. Look for it online. Anyway, product plug, Shred Matrix. But
a lot less caffeine, but some good amino acids and nutrients in there that can help you get a bit more energy in your workout as well.
Yeah, maybe throw some creatine in that, and away you go.
Yeah.
Cool.
Next question.
Another listener question from Daniel Cram. He says, how long do you have to consume creatine and beta-alanine before they start having an effect? I think we've already touched on this already.
We did. We covered it.
Was it 3 weeks?
Yeah, it's about 2 to 3
2 to
weeks,
3
for
weeks.
most people. But remember, it's all about getting your levels to a certain thing.
Okay.
So
I have a question then. Once you get your levels to that certain point, how long after you completely stop taking it before that
Drops off.
level
Good
wears
question.
I'm not 100% sure, but I guess it's quite different for everybody.
Yeah.
Beta-alanine is all about getting your muscle carnosine to this level.
Yeah.
Creatine, it's about getting your creatine to this level. But once you have a sudden drop of creatine from your diet, it'll probably take about a few days or so to come back to your baseline, what it was before.
Cool. Yeah, it doesn't take that long at all.
No.
That's it for questions.
Yep.
Have we got a athlete quote? I am 2 for 2 in the last 2 podcasts.
Wow,
do.
yeah.
You got to pick up your game,
I know,
man.
I thought I was winning, but
You were, but now I've come back strong. Let's go.
yeah,
I've
he's been
got
doing
a
some
good-
homework.
I got a good one here and a hint if you don't get it.
Yeah.
To be the man, you have to beat the man.
To be the man, you have to beat the man.
It's a boxer, I feel.
Last one was a boxer too. It was
Yeah.
Floyd Mayweather.
Not really a boxer.
To be the man, you have to beat the man.
Do you want a hint? Dhiren will probably get this first.
It's gonna be a basketball.
It was in an Amigos song.
Be the man, you have to beat the man.
Who's
Come
in
on.
Amigos song?
Jake Paul. I'm kidding.
Ric Flair.
Oh, Ric Flair. He's not an athlete. He's a WWE.
Hey, those guys are athletes.
He's the best athlete in the world.
Okay, the nature boy. Ric Flair. Yeah.
Right,
That's
WWE. I would never have got that. I've never watched WWE in my
What?
I'm
life.
sure you know Ric Flair.
I've heard
watched
it. I've
WWE.
seen Ric Flair,
Yeah,
but I
exactly.
don't. I've watched a bit of Brock Lesnar over the years, a bit of The Rock, John Cena, but that's and maybe back in the day like Junkyard Dog, Hulk Hogan, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm
It's
gonna-
such a
There's
soap opera.
some legit athletes. Dennis Rodman.
Got to start sprinkling a bit more Randy Orton and.
Yeah, I used to love wrestling back in the day.
They are athletes. Like their schedule that they keep, they are on the road constantly, and they're in the gym, obviously to stay jacked.
Yeah.
And then they're out there performing, and then they're training to perform because it's all scripted.
Yeah.
Or is it? Look, here we go.
I don't know.
We just lost every listener.
It's-
Yeah.
Nah, it's
Improv.
it's definitely
All credibility gone.
it's definitely scripted. The day I knew it was scripted was when they started mind control with flutes and stuff. So
Who was the guy that used to bring the snake out of the bag?
Jake the Snake.
Far out.
What?
How embarrassing.
I saw him live for something like my 7th birthday in South Africa. It was pretty cool.
There you go.
We were going to do an assignment on WWE at uni, but we got talked out of it.
Well, probably a good idea to get talked out of it. Have you got a Musashi quote, Dhiren?
We do.
Hang on. Bring it down. Oh,
Okay.
you can't cough anymore.
The Musashi quote of the day is from the Book of Five Rings.
The Book of Five Rings.
Musashi.
Purchased
Bible.
from all good bookstores.
Yep. So it's a simple quote. Too much is the same as not enough.
Can you apply that to?
Oh, yeah. Oh, you can
Topic
apply
of
it
the
to
day.
supplements.
Yeah.
We were talking about creatine earlier. Too much. It's not. You're not going to get any additional benefit.
And the same with pre-workout. Too
Yeah.
much is the same as not enough.
Too much. You're going to end up like Dhiren is today, sitting over there and jittering. And
Yeah, we talked about sleep recovery. I'm not going to sleep for 2 days, so we'll see how I recover.
That's a good one, actually. And that's a nice, simple one. Usually they're pretty deep. So
Yeah.
I like that
And
one.
it can apply to a lot of things, you know. Too much training is the same as not enough training, you know. Too much food. Maybe it's not the same as not enough food because you'll put on weight and still lose weight, but
Too much partying, Hal.
too much partying is the
No, I
same
don't
as
do
not
it
enough.
enough. You never do enough. What's that behind you?
What is it? This?
What is that?
We got a couple of new products dropping this month, later this month, and there's another one that we'll talk about. But basically, Shred Matrix to assist with energy production and fat metabolism. And an exciting new product dropping very soon is electrolytes.
Yep.
So obviously a hydration style product for some endurance and non-endurance athletes. I know I have been trialing it with jiu-jitsu. I sweat like a pig. So I've been using it and sipping on it. And actually I used to, when I was just sipping water during a jiu-jitsu workout, I'd lose 3 to 4 kilos in a jiu-jitsu session. And because they're late at night, I'd wake up the next morning so flat and wonder why, like struggle to get out of bed. So I've been using some electrolytes, sipping on it just sort of in between rounds. And I've been waking up fresh as. I feel great.
Yeah.
So, and that is the only real change I've made. So stay tuned for those. Any of our products on Musashi.com, heaps of product information. There's actually training guides, nutritional guides on there as well. All of our products are available. Chemist Warehouse, Coles, Woolies, different ranges. So check them out. Anything else?
That's it for me.
Cool.
All right.
Musashi out.
Musashi out. See you next time.
But no.